Hey guys, what's up? Toboloco here and welcome to my first FIFA 23 video, and this one is one I do every single year with every new FIFA. It is simulating and predicting the Champions League using FIFA 23. Now, here are all the teams that we have, and yeah, it's all looking good apart from one group. We are missing only one team this year, and that is the Israeli team, Maccabi Haifa, or Haifa, however you say it. I'm not very good with my pronunciations and stuff like that. I do struggle sometimes. But yeah, we are missing that team. So we got this other random team in there. I believe they are a Romanian side. So please don't get mad at me, get mad at EA, because time and time again I always say, if you are going to license the Champions League, you have to have all of the teams in the Champions League. I don't care how small they are or how big they are, you have to have the teams in the Champions League. So what I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to simulate the group stages and everything like that. But what I'm going to do this year is, usually I just go through the whole process and simulate it unedited, if you know what I mean, and that can take quite a long time to do. So I'm going to trim it down and just show you the results from the group stages and then the round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final and final. So I really hope that you guys enjoy it. And yeah, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so we're about to simulate our matches, and just to let you guys know, you probably already know that most of the Champions League matches have been played. Well, match day 1 and match day 2 have already been played, so of course any results that clash with the simulation, I will call them out. But this first match here, we have got Liverpool versus Ajax. I'm just going to use the quick sim feature. I know it can be a little bit I guess not controversial, but you know what I mean. It's a bit biased, and it was 1-0 to Liverpool there. It's a bit biased and a bit sort of unhinged when using it. I'm not really sure if I'm using the right words, but basically it's incredibly random. That's what I'm trying to say. I need to get my brain in gear. I'm a bit jet lagged, I apologise, but yeah, I've only just got home. So Man City versus Sevilla ended in a 2-2. Of course, in real life, that was a different story. Okay, so we got PSG versus Juve. I've only picked these teams because I feel like these are the teams that would go through and go far in the Champions League. PSG win that one 1-0 according to the game. Looking back on this simulation, I probably should have picked Bayern Munich as well, as a team that I feel that could have won the Champions League, but we move on. So the next match we've got here is PSG versus the Israel team. Let's see what happens in this one. And see, it was a 2-0 to PSG. Next match we got for Manchester City is Copenhagen, and I just simulated that one, and that is a 2-0 for Manchester City. Remember, all these results are what the game believes happened or will happen. It is not my own opinion, so if I see that in the comments, then I'm glad that you actually watched the video properly. But honestly, no, this is just a little bit of fun, I guess. It's just here to get some discussion. We've got Liverpool versus Napoli. In real life, Liverpool got smashed by Napoli 4-1. Will that happen again in this one? It is a 2-1 to Liverpool, so obviously the game is wrong. I'm calling the game out on that. But of course the game doesn't know. It's just doing it based on ratings and stuff like that. We've got Manchester City versus Dortmund here. Obviously Man City won because of Haaland in real life, and it ended up as a 3-1 victory for Manchester City. Next match for PSG versus Benfica. Let's simulate that one, and that will be a 2-1 for PSG. Quite a close result then for PSG there. Next match for Liverpool is against Rangers. I actually believe that in real life this match will be quite a close match. I don't know why, maybe based on Liverpool's current form at the time of recording and stuff like that, but I don't know, I just feel that Rangers would give Liverpool a great game, especially when Rangers are at home. So let's simulate this one and find out if Liverpool won this one. It was a 2-2 draw between the two sides, so I was kind of right that according to the game anyway, that it would be 2-2. So we got the reverse fixture for Liverpool. It's at home this time against Rangers. Will this be a little bit of a different story for Liverpool, or will it still be a close match? Let's simulate it and find out. And it was a 3-2 to Liverpool, so again a close match. Next match for PSG against Benfica. Again, and it is a 1-0 to PSG, so they just squeezed by Benfica on 2 occasions there to get the win. And we got Manchester City versus Dortmund again. Will this be a different story for Dortmund, or will Man City still win? It is a 5-1 to Manchester City. They blew them away in that match. Next match for City is against Sevilla. Let's see if Manchester City will win the reverse tie in this one. I think we're on match day 5 of the group stage, and Manchester City won 2-1 away from home. We've got Juve versus PSG again. Let's see if Juve can maybe win against PSG, or will it still be PSG? It was a 2-1, so a close game, but PSG take that one. And we've also now got Liverpool versus Ajax again. But this time it's at home for Liverpool. Let's see what happens in this match, simulate this one. And it is a 2-0 for Liverpool. So I believe Liverpool are through to the knockout stages. And I'm fairly sure that might be it for the group stages. No, there's still one more, and it's against Napoli, but it's away from home. I'm fairly sure the game's got that wrong. I thought we played Napoli away from home first fixture, and then we play Napoli at this point in February or whatever, but I don't know. But it's 1-0 to Liverpool, but yeah, I think the game got that wrong. Next match for Manchester City is against Copenhagen, which is one of their final matches. Let's see what happens in this one. And simulate it. It is a 2-2 draw, so okay, that's fine. I'm fairly sure Manchester City are through anyway. And we got PSG versus the team that's supposed to be Haifa, or Haifa, however you say it. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of the simulation, but it would be nice to have that team in there. So these are how your group stages are looking like after match day 6 of the Champions League. I'm just going to show them to you very quickly in this. I'm just going to edit it so it's very quick. And you guys can discuss in the comments whether or not you believe these group stages will happen in real life or not, if the game's correct or not. Remember, it's not my opinion, and I'm not really going to provide my own opinion about some of these group stages, but some of them I feel like they would happen, and some of them I feel like they'd be a little bit different. So I'll just give you guys some time to look at the groups quickly. You can pause the video if you want to have a proper analysis, but I just want to trim this video down so it'll be slightly smaller than usual. Like I said, some of them I agree with and some of them I don't really agree with, but yeah, I mean, this is just a simulation, and it's what the game feels it is gonna happen. So here are the round of 16 sort of fixtures. We've got Real Madrid versus Zagreb, and that's already in progress. And then we've got Spurs versus Atletico, Dortmund versus Liverpool, Juventus versus Bayern. We got Frankfurt versus Chelsea, we got Barcelona versus Leverkusen, Napoli versus Manchester City, and Leipzig versus PSG. So we're going to simulate this first fixture for Liverpool against Borussia Dortmund. It is away from home. Let's see what Liverpool can do away from home. Can they have a really good Champions League campaign, or will they have a stinker in the round of 16? They have an injured player there, so I had to auto-replace it to the game's sort of needs. And Liverpool lost 3-1 away from home. That is a massive result for Dortmund. I believe that if Liverpool were in the same kind of form as they are in now, they would lose 3-1 to Dortmund. But you have to think at that stage of the season, maybe they might have turned it around. Next match for Manchester City is away to Napoli. This might be a tough ask for Manchester City. Let's simulate it and find out. It was a 3-2 result for Manchester City away from home. Haaland scoring a late winner in that one to give the advantage. I'm fairly sure away goals and stuff like that don't count anymore, right? Or is that next year's Champions League? I'm not entirely sure, but we've got PSG versus Leipzig, away from home PSG, and it was a 4-2 to PSG. So again, another interesting matchup for the second leg. We've got Liverpool versus Dortmund in the second leg of this round of 16 fixture. and it looks like Liverpool have been dumped out by Dortmund, only getting a 1-1 at home. Liverpool have had a terrible Champions League campaign, really, to go out in the round of 16, but maybe, like I said, the problems and the form happening right now, it might have extended into the season by then. But yet again, like I said, it's a video game and it doesn't know these things. Napoli versus Manchester City, second leg of this round of 16 tie. What's going to happen? Will Napoli win or Manchester City finish it off? Man City finished it off with a 1-0 over Napoli at home at the Etihad, so Manchester City advance. So that's one of my teams that I predicted, well, I kind of chose that would go through. And there's some results for you there. I'm not sure if most of them are finished or not, but there we go, that's how some of them are finished. We've got the second leg of PSG versus Leipzig to look forward to. Remember, it was 4-2 the first leg. That was away from home for PSG. Now we get to find out PSG versus Leipzig at home. Will Leipzig be able to pull off a shocker, or will PSG assert their dominance in this round of 16 tie? It was a 4-1 to PSG on the night and 8-3 on aggregate. What a random scoreline that is. So let's have a look at the quarterfinals then. We've got Chelsea versus Barcelona, which is in progress right now. We've got FC Bayern Munich and Dortmund, which is also in progress. It's tied at 1-1. We've got Atletico versus PSG and Real Madrid versus Manchester City, a repeat of last year's semi-finals where Real Madrid pulled off some heroics to get past Manchester City. So it's going to be tough for both of these sides to go to the final. Like I said at the start, I should have really picked Bayern Munich. They have a really good squad right now. I don't know what went over my head, but to not pick them. But anyway, we'll just simulate this match then. First match of the quarterfinals, Atletico versus PSG. Gonna be a tough one to call, I think. So what happened in this one? So it was a 2-2 draw. Not a bad result, but with the away goals being eliminated, it would have been a more powerful result for PSG had the away goals stood. But we've got Real Madrid versus Manchester City now. Let's have a look and see who will win this one. It's going to be a really hard one to call. If Manchester City can pull this off, then I think they'll probably win the Champions League. I don't know why I think that, but I just feel it. If they can beat Real Madrid, I think they will. Let's have a look then. So it is a 2-1 currently as it stands. Real Madrid have another fixture away from home to try and turn it around. Second leg of PSG versus Atletico. Let's see if PSG can advance to the semi-finals of the Champions League, or will it be a stinker for PSG and will they get knocked out? I mean, a lot of people say PSG are serial bottlers in the Champions League. Let's see if that comes through in this simulation. Oh my god! 3-2 to Atletico Madrid, which dumps out PSG in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. They lost 5-4 on aggregate, and that's a huge result for Atletico. Absolutely huge. I'm not sure if that would happen in real life. I don't really know. It's hard to say, but that's what the game thinks, and yeah, we move on. We have the second leg of Manchester City versus Real Madrid. Will it be Manchester City or Real Madrid pulling off the shocker, hit the comeback? No, it wasn't. It was Manchester City. They finished Real Madrid off with a 2-0 victory, which means Manchester City advanced to the semi-finals of the Champions League. So semi-final time, we have got Manchester City versus Atletico, who knocked out PSG, and we've got Dortmund versus Barcelona. So Barcelona eliminated Chelsea in their last match, and Dortmund has somehow eliminated Bayern Munich. I mean, it is possible, but I mean, I thought that Bayern Munich were going to be one of the favourites to win this whole tournament. Obviously not. So we move into the simulation of the first game for Manchester City in the semi-final. And it is a 2-1 to Manchester City. It still sets up a comeback for Atletico, potentially. But Manchester City are the only team left I have in this simulation. So I'm kind of hoping they go to the final just to justify it a bit more. Alright then, let's see what happens in this second leg for Manchester City. Will it be Atletico with the stunning comeback like they did in the last round against PSG? Or will Manchester City finish off the tie and go to the final for the second time in 3 years? Let's have a look and see. It's 1-1, which means that Atletico Madrid have been eliminated and Manchester City advance into the final. And let's have a look. Oh, Dortmund have reached the final. with a 5-4 aggregate over Barcelona. That is madness. So we have Dortmund and Manchester City in the final. That's what the game thinks. I can believe Manchester City going to the final, obviously because they got Haaland, you know, everything like that. They have kind of improved their strike force and that. But Dortmund? I don't know about that one, FIFA. So it's time to simulate the final. Of course, it's just a one-legged tie. And who will win this one? Will it be Man City or will it be Dortmund? Let's simulate and find out. It is Dortmund on penalties. On penalties, Dortmund have won the Champions League against Manchester City on penalties. What's really interesting to me is, obviously Dortmund winning the Champions League according to FIFA 23. That's nuts. But these two were in the same group and they came through the Champions League process, and according to the game, they get to the final and Dortmund win it. That is incredible. Like, usually it's just bigger teams like sort of PSG, Man City, Liverpool winning the Champions League according to FIFA. But this time round it's told me that, well, this time round FIFA has told me that Dortmund would win the Champions League in that situation. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, that's the end of my simulation. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and subscribe. Keep it loco as always, and I'll see you again for the next video.